Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Carlos de Alvarado. Now, this is not my channel, not taking over. You still see my friend over here, Micah. Uh, just notice he's been doing some tier lists. Some pretty decent, some other controversial takes like the pie. Sorry, my
pie has no texture in its ass.
All right. I guess we'll just start in order. So, this goes in order of things released. That's cool. Batman with Adam West. So, I know this is a classic, but we've only watched like one episode of it.
Yeah, no,
And
it was.
and I mean, look, I know it is 2023. This was in the 60s. Like if this came out today, I feel like this would be like a D tier because of the corniness and everything of it. But because, it has such a huge appreciation and also like Adam West was like iconic as the role and everything, I'm going to put it up in B tier for me. I know like if my dad were here, he would put that in S tier and then everything else on F tier and haven't seen. Okay. And now next thing, Superman. Okay. The very first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve. That's S tier.
It was pretty good.
It's to this day it still holds up. It's it's just great, One of the greatest things about that character is there's no reason why he does good things. He just does it. And that's kind of the reason why how every person should be like. Superman 2. Okay, so this one I don't remember this one as well, but this is the one with the General Zod and like those other three Kryptonians that got thrown out into the Phantom Zone, which Man of Steel took some inspiration from. Shoot, I don't remember this one too well, but frick, because I can't put on haven't seen, but I don't want to give it, and we'll just give it like a B tier along with the Batman one. Swamp Thing I haven't seen. Superman 3. Okay, this one I actually didn't like that much. Cuz it was about how like he had like this alternate personality or like other copy of him that was like evil. Yada yada yada. I don't even remember it honestly. So I'm going to just put this in like D tier. Supergirl, I honestly haven't seen it, but some people say it's bad. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
It was awful. Is it bad like the sun?
No. So what happens is Lex or like some kind of government or whatever power that has a ton of nuclear bombs, what Superman does is there gets a giant net, flies out to space, then collects every nuclear bomb, collects them all, swings them around, and throws them into the sun. Imagine if today every nuclear bomb on the planet went straight into the sun. That would cause some like catastrophic stuff. It would probably
the sun, bro.
And also so that means I think we would first get this massive burst of heat from the nuclear energy, and then everyone would get nuclear poisoning from the sun. And then the sun would go away and then we would freeze to death. So there you go. Another Swamp Thing, I haven't seen it. Okay. The very first Batman movie with Michael Keaton. Okay, now we're ready for some hot takes from the dads out there who really like, cuz my dad and my uncle love Michael Keaton. They're like he's like their favorite ones pretty much. It's a B tier. Some people would say like A or S. But the reason I don't agree with that is for two reasons. One, I don't like the Joker's design. Like, do you know how it kind of here? Let's see. So if you go, what's a good picture? Like right here. So as you can see right here, he has a smile just permanently embedded in his face. So he always does this. Regardless of his emotions.
Is it drawn on, or is he just always smiling?
No. It's like makeup in his face or something that makes it look like that. But that part I really didn't like that much. I thought that was always kind of weird, and it just never made sense to me. So that's why I put it on the B tier. This one, Batman Returns, I'm gonna put that in like. Honestly, this one wasn't that good. I'm gonna put it in C tier though. I know you didn't watch this one, but the movie, you know Danny DeVito, right?
Yeah.
He's the Penguin in this movie, which is perfect, like casting, because he's like really short and like kind of thick.
Mhm.
The opening of the movie shows like him as a baby, and as a baby, this is how like his hands were. Like he had like 3 fingers
He had
technically.
3 fingers.
Yeah, like this,
Penguin
because he's
did?
a penguin, right? Even though it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But his parents get so distraught by it that they throw him in a lake. And he's raised by penguins in a sewer.
In a sewer.
And then he somehow becomes like some successful like entrepreneur or some shit like that.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. And so because of the massive backlash that one got, we then got a much goofier, campy Batman Forever. This one I'm putting in the D tier. I mean, it's the first live action Robin you see, but it's Robin in this movie is like way too old. He's like older than like me or you. Like the ideal Robin should be like 14 or 15 when he first gets recruited, like in this movie, but instead of like 25. And I really just didn't like I didn't like Two-Face in this film. He just seemed kind of stupid. So I don't not much explanation to go off of. This one.
Is that Dr. Freeze?
Batman and Robin.
That's S tier.
S tier. S plus. No, in all seriousness, this is the F tier. This is one of the worst films ever made. The film literally opens up with giant rubberized bat nipples. Like imagine being one of the stunt doubles where you have to put on a 30-pound probably suit that's made out of thick rubber, just skin tight too. Like, dude, you would sweat so hard.
What killed the dinosaur?
The Ice Age.
The
Yeah,
Ice
Arnold.
Age.
It's one of those movies that's like super funny, but it's super funny because it's bad. It's not bad and like not funny, because there are some movies that are like that. Steel, starring Shaquille O'Neal. Now I know people who watch this movie would say it's F tier, but I haven't seen it. But I know people who have watched it and they said that it was an F tier. Catwoman with Halle Berry. Is that how you pronounce it?
I've never watched it.
It's F tier. It's actually terrible. I don't even want to talk about it. What is this? Constantine? Yeah, I haven't seen this one either. Okay, now we're getting to some of the better stuff. Batman Begins. S tier. I mean, one more can you say? S tier.
With Qui-Gon in it?
Yeah, with Qui-Gon. Also, like, I think these movies, Begins, Dark Knight, and Rises, have like some of the best movie scores ever made. And I like how this was like the first live action movie that showcased like how he becomes Batman. Because in the previous ones, like, you know, the 89 movie, it didn't really show that much. Okay, moving on next, we got Superman Returns with, who directed it? Bryan Singer? This one was very, interesting to me. So the biggest, like, I know you haven't seen this one either, but the last time I watched it, there was like more Lois Lane scenes than there were like Superman scenes.
Really?
And so that was like the biggest complaint I had with the film. I'm like, the film's called freaking Superman.
Was she hot?
Not really. She was kind of. But the good thing about it, and well, I'll put it in the B tier, is that it has the original Superman theme from John Williams, and so you just see him. It pretty much plays it whenever he lifts something heavy, and then just super nice
Mhm.
to watch. Okay, you know what? We're not gonna make another tier for this movie, but The Dark Knight is top of the S tier. It has to be, just for Joker alone,
Yeah.
and it's so it kind of I won't talk too much about it, but it's just one of those movies that has great action, great acting, fantastic, even better like music choice for this one. And also it after all these tasks to handle, it manages to still stay super exciting. Like whenever I watch this movie, I'm never bored. There's always something exciting going on. Like, oh, there's a scene where Batman's chasing down the Joker. Oh, he's in prison. Okay, now we get to more relaxing stuff. Turns out, Batman's got to go back and beat the crap out of Joker. And then boom, like someone's about to blow up. Oh, now a hospital is gonna blow up. Oh, now we have hostages on the ferries. Oh, even more bombs.
Mhm.
And now SWAT teams are coming in. So it's just got a nice excitement to it that never seems to fade away. I've probably seen The Dark Knight like maybe like 15, 20 times at this point. I watched it a couple days ago at work because when you're doing long ass shifts, there's really nothing else to do. All right, The Watchmen. I haven't seen this one. I've heard mixed reviews on that. Hex. I haven't watched this one either. Green Lantern. F tier. Terrible, terrible movie with Ryan Reynolds. Even in the Deadpool movies, they make fun of the Green Lantern. Okay, Dark Knight Rises. Um, bottom of the S tier. I think I like these movies a bit. But the reason I like Rises the most is because it shows our one of my favorite storylines that like heroes go through is when they have like their crash moment, like their lowest point, and then they literally gotta dig themselves out and like get back up. Um, I thought I thought that the ending was pretty good. The thing is, when I first watched this film, I originally didn't like it as much. And so it was one of those films that like took multiple rewatches of me to like finally get to like it as much as I do. Okay, next is Man of Steel. We're gonna put this one at the B tier. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a little change. Superman Returns to C tier. So I like Man of Steel. I think it's pretty decent. Um, I don't like their take on Jonathan Kent at all because he kind of discourages Clark from like doing good things. And there's like this whole side plot of, oh, the world and our government and stuff ain't ready for a Superman. So it gets kind of political that way, but like not too heavy. Batman v Superman. This may surprise some people, but I'm gonna actually put this on B tier. Some people, what, you don't like this one?
No, it's not that good.
Have you actually watched it though?
No,
Yeah, okay, so
it's just not that good.
it's one of those films that's like fun to watch and like kind of turn your, you know what, fine, we'll put it in C tier. I notice how I put it, I haven't put anything in A tier. That's kind of sad. Um, but yeah, it's a pretty decent movie. Hans Zimmer comes back, as the great legend he is. And I guess the main problem with this film is it tried to set up so many sequels, um, with like Justice League and stuff, and we can get to that later. All right, David Ayer's Suicide Squad. I honestly haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know. Like, notice how like all the stuff I haven't seen are like potentially not as good. Watchmen, I might actually need to watch The Watchmen because some people actually like that. Anyways, Wonder Woman 1 is A tier. I actually really like this one. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, man.
This is why you're doing the DC tier list,
Yeah,
not
that's
me.
why I'm doing the DC tier list. It actually has been a minute since I've watched most of these. Wonder Woman I really liked. I just thought the plot was good. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Um it just told a very I don't know, I guess it was just one of those few films back in the late 2000s that actually cared about story instead of like plot building and like world building and all that crap.
I think you
And
just
so,
thought Wonder Woman was hot.
well, I thought that too, but and also Chris Pine is in the movie too, and he's like top 5 best actors. Well, not 5, but probably 10. Okay, the original cut of Justice League is an F. I don't really need to explain. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you a little story. So, what Zack Snyder originally did these two, Man of Steel and BVS. Um, but he had some like troubles with his personal life, and so he needed to step back from Justice League. And the guy who did the first Avengers, Joss Whedon, he came in, did a bunch of reshoots, inflating the budget of this movie to like 400, 500 million or something like that. And then the movie made like no profit because of how bad it was. So the reshoots with Superman specifically, what happened was Henry Cavill was under contract to not shave his mustache for Mission Impossible or whatever it was. And so they had to CGI remove a mustache. You know what? I'm gonna look that up. CGI mustache. Look at that. Isn't that terrible?
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. It really did not sit well. So that's why it's an F tier. Aquaman, to be honest, like yes, I have seen this one, but I don't really remember it that much. But I remember the CGI looking like PS4 cutscenes, honestly. And the story was okay, and Amber Heard's in it, and we don't like Amber Heard, so we're gonna give it a C tier. Shazam, I really like Shazam. Um, yeah, that's an A tier. Some of these, like, I just can't explain that well because I haven't seen them for that long, but I remember liking them a lot. Joker, that's top of the A tier. Um, you want it to be S tier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if we had an A plus tier, I'd put it in there, but we're not gonna do it any more than just the S, A, B, C, D, E, F, A. I mean, you know what? I'll put it bottom of the S tier, and then I'll put Dark Knight Rises in front of Batman Begins because I like that one more. Um, I mean, yeah, what can you say? I mean, the Joker movie started this whole like movement of like the whole like society's bad thing, really.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this movie was kind of an eye opener to young men to feel like, yeah, society is not your friend, type of thing. Um, and all the memes that came with it. Like, remember the meme, like how boys go to school and it's just two guys who drive up to the school parking lot and get out and run inside. And it goes, how men go to school and they exit the car doing the dance and they have the music playing. And of course, you got like the scene, the memes of him with the makeup on, with the hoodie. So this sparked a lot of good memes actually. So I can put this at the S tier for that. Birds of Prey, I honestly haven't seen that one, so I wouldn't know. Wonder Woman 84. This one was actually kind of ass. I'm putting that at D tier. Top of the D tier. Yeah. That one was not good. Not much explanation as to how is needed. Zack Snyder's Justice League is top of the A tier for me. It is like a 4-hour long cut though. so you probably won't have the willingness to watch it. But it's pretty decent. It has a pretty good scene with the Flash, which
Ezra Miller?
yeah, with Ezra Miller as the Flash. The thing is, like, Ezra Miller's Flash is actually really good in this movie, but now everyone memes all the scenes of him running is just text titled like Ezra Miller running from the cops or something like that. That was just funny. What's next? James Gunn Suicide Squad. Yeah, this one was pretty good. I put that at like I put that like bottom. I put that like above Shazam but below Wonder Woman. This one was pretty good too.
Don't have Margot Robbie in it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's pretty good. It has John Cena, as Peacemaker, who actually got his own show. So that show's actually pretty decent. Actually, I haven't watched that in a while. Okay, we have two more left. First up, the Batman. It's S tier, but I don't know where on the S tier. I'm gonna need your help on this one. Shoot.
I thought it was better than better than the first Superman, but I don't know.
It's like I'm thinking in between here. Notice how like most of these projects are just Batman movies too. The Batman movies, Batman has like the most best movies out of like most of them.
Well, it's a good character. I just wish
Yeah.
that I wish that they would make a Batman trilogy and then just leave it.
Kind of like with these three.
I hate how they always
Yeah.
Batman trilogy, Batman shows, Batman this. It's like, why can't we just finish
Yeah.
the Batman story and then move on to something else?
Yeah. I'll put the Batman at number 2 because it's not as good as the Dark Knight just because the Dark Knight has like Joker in it and what Heath Ledger did with that role was pretty good. Okay, the last one. Honestly, I would have originally put this on C tier, but I'm gonna Black Adam, but I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the D tier. And here's why. I spent $10 on a ticket to this movie. And then they give me a post-credit scene with Henry Cavill coming back as Superman. Almost been a decade since since Man of Steel came out, by the way. Only for a month later for them to announce that, surprise, surprise, he's actually not coming back. So, watching this movie was a waste of my time and a waste of my money. The Rock, I mean, everyone likes The Rock. I like The Rock. But as an actor, he's not that good of an actor. The Rock just plays The Rock in all of his movies. And also, the most annoying part about this movie, besides the whole, like, the Superman lowball, is that kid.
Dude, that kid actor was so bad. He was like one of the worst kid actors I've ever seen in my life. His lines were performed so awfully.
Well,
Like, it felt like he was the director's son who just threw him in there. It was
I
just
know.
awful.
It's like the take your kid to work day, but your kid doesn't actually want to go to work.
It was so bad. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe, like, worse than Spy Kids, honestly, type acting.
In terms of acting, yeah, but in terms of CGI, no.
CGI was
Spy Kids. Dude, the next Avengers movie is gonna look like Spy Kids 3. That's so funny. Okay, anyway, that's the DC tier list. Most of the S tier is Batman stuff, except for Superman. And then you got a few hidden gems in here. You got some like older stuff in there, and then you got the mid stuff that you'll just never watch. Like the C's and D's, like you'll never watch. Like I will
Well, you'll watch
never.
them once, but never twice.
Yeah.
You never want to watch
And then the F tiers, like they're the it's so bad it's funny type
Well,
movies.
the F tiers, like the only movie that I've tried to watch on F tier was
Batman and Robin
Batman and Robin, and
and Superman.
I've never even gotten to the halfway point of that movie. I've never finished it.
We tried to
because
watch it up on that big TV.
I've tried to, but
And
I
then
just can't get through it. It's so bad.
we both tried it, and I actually hit the nail on the coffin. I was like, okay, I can't watch this
It's
anymore.
like I can't. I've never even gotten past like the friggin' Poison Ivy scene. I've never.
Oh, with the first one where
The
she.
first one where she resurrects Bane.
Oh my gosh, that was so bad.
So I don't even know most of Mr. Freeze's funny lines.
Yeah, his funny lines like made it bearable to watch though.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, that's the end of the DC movies tier list. I think this went over like almost every single one of them. So yeah. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyways, thank you for watching this tier list. If you agree with everything, you are actually correct. If you don't agree with me, then you're a fraud. All right. Anyways,
also, look at Graph.
Look at Graph.
Think about Graph.
Think about Graph. What does that mean? Remember, unlike an OnlyFans page, it's free. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.